some of the things I was dealing with as a young man, you know, just trying to make it in life, and just trying to survive, and just doing things that young men usually do sometimes without thinking, you know. Because of the Satanism, one of the deities that I used to pay homage to was a deity by the name of Samhain, which I used to call Samhain, spelled S-A-M-H-A-I-N, Samhain. He was a Druidic deity of Druids, which demanded human sacrifice. And because I used to seek communication with this demonic entity, as dumb and crazy as it sounds, I regret this. This was a nightmare, but at the time, that's what I was doing. So I was calling upon this demonic entity, this Druid spirit, and it was like he was reaching out to me. In my mind, I felt I was really getting messages from him. I was reading literature from a church called the Process Church of Final Judgment. I was using some of that literature, which was calling on to start anarchy and try to bring in the end of the world so that Jesus could come back. It was a whole mixed up, twisted philosophy, but it was something that was, I believe, demonically energized. The teachings which I was reading from, also the Satanic Bible, and other things I was trying to do at that time of my life of searching and everything, these things became very real. It was hard to distinguish reality from that, and you know, still struggling to make a living and work and pay bills, and even though I was getting further and further behind. When I was arrested, I only had $65 to my name, so I was on a collision course with death. Concerning the so-called dog, after I came to prison, because that became a big thing, you know, they said the media and everything went wild. The dog made him do it, Harvey the dog, which was a neighbor's dog named Harvey. It had nothing to do with the crimes. It had nothing to do with the crimes, but the media somehow, I don't know, they made it like that dog was talking to me, this or that. There was a time of a lot of confusion, but I was trying to let people know in a roundabout way. In a way, it was my fault too, but I was trying to let people know, no, Sam, the dog's name was not Sam, it was named Harvey. Samhain was the deity that was communicating with me. And people could never make that distinction because they had no understanding of spiritual things. And I couldn't explain it clearly myself. My mind was a mess. So that's how that whole thing started. And when I got to prison, when you're a new person in prison, especially when you have a high-profile case like I did, you know, a lot of the guards, a lot of the inmates would tease you. You know, you have that kind of thing, initiation phase where you're a new jack coming into prison. I came to prison with multiple life sentences. I went to Attica prison, one of the most dangerous and infamous prisons in the United States, because about 7 or 8 years earlier, they had a major riot where over 40 people were killed, and so it had a terrible reputation, and it was a difficult atmosphere. And so I took a lot of ribbing from people about the dog. Sometimes guys would make barking noises. Some of the guards even, just teasing me, would make barking noises, go, oh, and you know, it's stupid, childish stuff, but that's, you know, how it is in that kind of life. But it used to bother me so much, and I got into a few fights over that. And one day I said, thinking that it was kind of like a magical thinking. I was thinking that if I just said, oh, there was no real talking dog or anything like that, that everything would just go away. So I said that to somebody, I wrote that to somebody in the media, and it made it look like the whole story was made up, but it wasn't. It wasn't really made up. I mean, there was an actual demon by the name of Samhain that I was communicating with. I regret to say that sounds very dumb, but at the time I really believed that stuff, you know, and I was really brainwashed, and I believe I was under a degree of hypnotic control. This is not to make an excuse for anything, but at the time of my life, that's how messed up I was. I still, even when I was in Attica, I still had some occult books, and I was practicing rituals in my cell, very dumb and foolish things but that's what I was doing in my ignorance and in my rebellion and just trying to survive. I only wanted to survive. So I figured that by saying, oh, there was no dog, I just made the whole thing up, the whole thing would go away. But really it was confusion to begin with, because there really wasn't a dog, it was a demon. But no one was able to make that distinction, and so for years, and even till today, there's been a lot of misconceptions about that. And that'll probably always be there because it's too complicated to figure out. People listen, thinking, oh yeah, horror movies, Rosemary's Baby, and other things all seem to, I was always drawn to those things. And it was, you know, coming to prison, it was the same thing. I still had my occult literature, and it was just really a lost, lonely soul.